Just like politics, all news is local, and that's certainly the case on Idaho Matters, the weekday public affairs podcast from Boise State Public Radio. Listen today to hear about events and issues that impact Idahoans. Search Idaho Matters wherever you get your podcasts.
From Boise State Public Radio, this is The Connector, Idaho's daily news. Good morning. I'm George Prentice. Today, we'll tell you about a new plan that would see traffic cameras mounted near red lights. We've got some good news on the fire watch, and we will learn how new Idaho voters are very politically active. It is Wednesday, the 2nd of October, and here are today's stories. Last night, Boise officials took the first step to move toward a new method to enforce traffic safety. You've likely heard of cameras that monitor traffic. These cameras would specifically enforce traffic laws, and they'd be mounted on red lights.
So this would be the first of its kind in Idaho.
That is Bree Brush, City of Boise Transportation Advisor, in front of City Council yesterday. And while this is a first step in a process, the city intends to partner with the Ada County Highway District. Brush said any enforcement, if it were to happen, the image of vehicles and license plates would be reviewed by a person.
The word automatic is a little misleading because it's not completely automatic. A person actually has to review it to be able to issue a citation.
And they would not be at every intersection. They would be at specific sites.
The way the agreement is written, we select the locations, let ACHD know, get their guidance and feedback. Maybe they can offer something about that intersection specifically of why it's a good place for it or why it isn't a good place for it. But yes, we have the discretion to choose those priority locations.
And yes, the images might help law enforcement in bigger investigations. Here's Council President Colin Nash.
It's my understanding that it's a license plate reader. It's a license plate camera that was a tool that helped catch Brian Koberger. And I think being able to give officers these tools to enforce our laws.
Last night, City Council said yes to the agreement. Later today, Brush goes to ACHD to see if she can convince them to agree. On the fire watch, some good news from the front lines of the massive Wapiti fire. Kevin Norton is the operations section chief on the scene.
Up in the northwest part of the fire, near Banner Summit, near Copper Mountain and Bull Trout Lakes. Had folks, engines and crews working on some areas of heat in there, doing a lot of really good work. All of that's staying in its current footprint. And so we're feeling really good about that right now.
And as of this morning, the Wapiti has scorched more than 125,000 acres. It is 78% contained. Now up and over to the lava fire, where Ed LeBlanc is the operations section chief on the scene. And he has some pretty good news, particularly on the northeast corner of the lava.
Up in God's Acres area, Snake River and Fulton Hot Shots have been working really hard to secure that up there. And just want to give a shout out to Snake River. They've done 14 days here. One of our best hot shot crews we have in the country. And they've done a lot of hard work up there.
And as of this morning, the lava fire has burned nearly 98,000 acres. We are now less than 5 weeks until Election Day, and they're very busy at Idaho's largest election operations, Ada County, where they have already mailed out more than 48,000 absentee ballots, about 22,000 to registered Republicans, 13,000 to Democrats, 12,000 unaffiliated. They're averaging about 1,100 to 1,500 new absentee requests each day. And reporting to Ada County commissioners this week, Ada County Clerk Trent Triple highlighted some important dates in the coming weeks.
Friday, the 11th of this month, pre-registration ends. You're going to need that. And then if you want to in-person early vote, that begins the 15th of October, which is Tuesday after the holiday.
Meanwhile, election officials continue to say they're expecting a very high voter turnout this year. This morning, Julie Lucata takes a closer look at what that means.
In the last presidential election, 81% of registered voters cast their ballots in Idaho, a high turnout rate not seen since the Clinton-Bush senior ticket in 1992. Ada County Clerk Trent Triple says officials are expecting up to 90% of Idaho's registered voters to show up at the polls this time around.
Obviously, a presidential election drives a large turnout number, but we also have a Proposition 1 that deals with ranked choice voting and open primaries, as well as the constitutional amendment for citizenship here.
Triple says those estimates are driven by what some call, quote, political refugees, people from across the country moving to Idaho because of its conservative politics. Since 2018, 74,000 newcomers from out of state have registered to vote in Idaho. Of those, 12% are Democrats and 65% are Republicans.
And they're politically active. And so of those folks that are moving here, it's not hard to see that they might have a stronger interest in turning out to vote than other people.
While officials are expecting high turnout rates amongst registered voters, about a quarter of the voting age population in Idaho is not registered to cast a ballot. Julie Duqueta, Boise State Public Radio News.
And that is today's episode of The Connector. I'm George Prentice. We'll see you back here tomorrow. To stay in touch with the news between now and then, check out BoiseStatePublicRadio.org or download the free Boise State Public Radio app. And thanks for listening.